Okay, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining the Sero Project SPJI 5.0 application webinar. We're excited that each and every one of you have joined us, whether you're here live or you're going to see this later. We're definitely excited about this program that we have coming your way. It is going to be an exciting program. Many of you have already heard about SPJI. Maybe you've heard us talk about SPJI. So welcome to SPJI, if you will. And so this is a webinar that is specifically going to give you some information about what the program is, as well as the application itself. Once again, this is being recorded, so I wanted that to be clear. So we're going to ask you to mute yourself if you haven't done that already. Also, as we go through this, you may have some questions. And if you have any questions, we're going to ask you to put that in the chat or in the parking lot. And towards the end, we're going to answer those questions. So you can either write it down or you can put it in the chat. So you'll be able to raise your hand or put it in the chat. We recommend that you put it in the chat so that we can follow it. All right. So with that said, once again, welcome. I'm going to go ahead and begin with the slideshow. And I'm going to share my screen. And I can get a thumbs up when you see it. All right, can you guys see that okay? All right, great. All right, so we're going to begin now, and this is the agenda for this evening. So we're going to have a welcome introduction by our leadership, Sero leadership, and then we're going to go through and we're going to talk about what is the Sero Project Justice Institute, or SPJI 5.0. We'll discuss some objectives, and we'll talk about the timeline, the expectations, and then the benefits of being a participant in this program. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and pivot over to the Sero leadership, and then the very next voice you'll hear will be mine.
Welcome, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Tammy Hott, Sero Project Co-Executive Director, and here with Kevin Lish and Eric Fleiter, who's also with us tonight. So we appreciate you joining us to learn more about the Sero Project Justice Institute, or SPJI, or SPJI, as Darrin also mentioned that it is called. We're excited that you're here because this webinar is really about an opportunity. SPJI was created to help people living with HIV build their skills, confidence, and connections needed to strengthen advocacy in our own states and communities. You don't have to be an experienced advocate to apply. In fact, many of our advocates or our graduates started where you are today. They cared about making a difference, but weren't sure where to begin or if they had enough experience. Through SPJI, they found their voice, built lasting relationships, and became leaders in their state coalitions. Over the course of the year, we'll cover everything from coalition building and grant writing to legislative advocacy, storytelling, strategic planning, and navigating today's political landscape. More importantly, you'll be surrounded by mentors, community leaders, and a cohort of people living with HIV who will support one another throughout the journey. Advocacy isn't about having all of the answers. It's about being willing to learn, to show up, and to use your lived experience to create change. Your story matters. Your perspective matters. And our movement is stronger when people living with HIV are leading it. Tonight, we'll walk you through the application process, or Darrin will walk you through that, answer your questions, and hopefully help you decide if SPJI is the right next step for you.
This is not.
We appreciate you spending your evening with us. and we look forward to getting to know each of you. So welcome, and I will turn it back over to Darrin.
All right, thank you, Tammy. I appreciate it. I don't know, something weird happened to the screen there. I just saw something pop up there across the screen. I don't know if you guys can see that red mark, but I do apologize for that. As long as you can hear and see me, that's the most important thing right now. So the Sero project, Tammy just talked about, it is very exciting. I am also one who has gone through the program. I enjoyed it thoroughly. And so I'm going to be speaking from lived experience, if you will. So firsthand experience. We also have some other individuals who also have gone through the program who are on as well. And I'll talk about them in a little bit later. So once again, Sero Project Justice SPJI, it's a year-long program, and you'll hear this throughout this presentation because it's really important to stress that and to mention that because it is a time commitment that you will have to commit to, if you will. And it's very important that you think about that and consider that before completing the application because it is a very competitive process. I'll be honest with you. We're going to have several individuals who are going to apply, and we don't want to take a spot away from someone who really wanted to be a part of this because we only have 12 slots. So I wanted to be very honest about that up front, but it's really important that you know that there is a year-long program, and it is designed, as Tammy talked about, to nurture your advocacy and leadership skills to help you with your state coalition work. In addition to that, it's going to help you to deepen and enhance like your grassroots movement, and it's also going to give you other skills needed to do this work because there's a lot of intersectionality in the work that we do. So we're going to be discussing different topics like racism, homophobia, transphobia, and the over-criminalization of disenfranchised communities. So that's really important as we're having these discussions. And most importantly, you know, you're going to meet a great group of people and you're going to be able to work alongside with them and also do some great activities like strategy planning and also help us to build a better program. Now, once again, it's a year-long program, and it's conducted mainly virtually. So all of our meetings are going to be Zoom, and so we will have Zoom meetings, and there's a lot of practical application, hands-on, but you're going to be able to increase your knowledge, skills, and abilities by being a part of this program. Not only that, but it's going to help you in, once again, with your state coalitions. And that's what we want. We want you to be able to do that. Now, what we're going to do right now is hear from, let's see if, there it is, some individuals who were part of the project before.
No sound, Darrin.
You cannot hear the sound?
No.
Okay, so this will be in the application, so you'll be able to view it in the application. We'll make sure that you have access to that. And so we're gonna move forward on that. All right, here are going to be some very important dates that I just wanted to point out. So as you're considering to complete the application, as you're considering to do this, and for the TAs that are on, I want you to be prepared. You're going to actually be the voice of those videos in a minute. So I'm going to go through this slide and then I'm going to come to you. All right, so hopefully you guys are ready, and most of you have double experience with SPJI and SPJI Plus, so I'm sure you're more than ready to add value to this conversation. So we get to have it live in real person, better than a video. All right, so here's a timeline that you should consider as we are getting ready once again for SPJI. So August 4th, that's today, we are now having this particular webinar, and we're going to release the application as soon as this webinar, excuse me, ends. In addition to that, there is a deadline. So I really want to point that out, August 25th. And so that's ample enough time for you to complete the application, and it's going to be due by 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And once the deadline for the application passes, of course, we'll be sending out application acceptance letters and interview letters and a doodle calendar, and that'll be September 17th. Interviews for those who have been selected and accepted will be September 18th to the 22nd. And then we will have an orientation webinar, which is going to be on October 6th. And our very first module will happen on Tuesday, October 13th. And then the end of the program is September 30th. Just as a heads up, and you'll see this again in another slide, but SPJI will be held every second and fourth Tuesdays, and I'll get into the times a little bit later. And then there's going to also be a graduation. So I just want to give you a heads up. And so I'm just going to call you guys because I know that you're on and you are ready. So we're going to start with the Dr. Alicia. If you're still on, you can talk a little bit about your experience in SPJI. Then we'll go to Cody, and then from Cody, we'll go to Melanie, and then from Melanie, we're going to go to Lawrence. So in that order, Dr. Alicia Diggs.
Hello, everyone. So good to see you on here and excited. I will say, as a past or a SPJI graduate, in the beginning, I'll be totally transparent. I was a bit nervous because I felt like policy, things of that matter, wasn't my wheelhouse, but it is all of our wheelhouses, y'all. It is a part of the work that we do, and it is a must to at least do a little bit of the work. And as I started and went through the process and realized this is the work that I need to be doing to help build coalitions in my area, and to also not just build those coalitions, but give me the additional confidence I needed to be able to do it. And as a result of being a part of SPJI 2 times, I've been able to work within my community to make some changes. And we're currently even in planning process of making some additional changes as it pertains to HIV criminalization in the state of North Carolina. Outside of that, I will say this is an amazing family. The SPJI family will always, always have your back, never make you feel like you're left alone in doing this work. You never have to overthink. Don't be like me. I am a complete overthinker, and I will make a mountain out of a molehill. It makes no sense. But all that to say, there's support here, and there's a lot of learning that's going to help you as you progress as a leader when it comes to doing this work within your community. So I know my other siblings in this work has a lot to share, so I'll stop right there, and I'm welcoming everybody in advance.
Okay, I didn't prepare a speech, Darrin. I'm Cody. I'm in Kansas right now, the Midwest. Like Alicia said, Sero Project, that's my family. I've been in it twice now, the SPJI cohort. I came into it really right after my diagnosis to find community and figure out what I wanted to do. I was already doing policy work, just in a different context, and I needed to understand what was going on, with the laws in my state and where was my community. The cohort gave me a lot of tools to find community. Like I said, I was in Arkansas then. That's a very rural, isolated place. So I was able to use those tools to connect with people there in that state. And I'm in Kansas now. And I'm also part of a different cohort, the Positively Trans. It's under Trans Law Center. But the tools here that I got from the Sero Project helped enhance the work over there as well. So under that project, we do like community research and professional development and advocacy stuff. So it kind of went hand in hand together. Um, and one thing, yeah, the policy work might not be for you, but there's a place in the movement for all of us. So this is a place to figure out where it's at. Yeah.
Okay, and my name is Melanie Reese. I was in SPJI 2.0 and SPJI Plus, which I now learned was SPJI 4. And Sero Project is my family. Every member of the cohorts, every member of the staff, they're so supportive. Their passion and for this work is contagious. The outline of the program is thorough. If you come in knowing a little bit, you're going to leave knowing quite a bit, and you'll be thirsty to learn more. I am from Baltimore, Maryland, and I joined our Maryland Coalition to decriminalize HIV. And in 2023, we weren't successful. In 2024, we weren't successful. But in 2025, Maryland was able to repeal its HIV specific statute, and we were thrilled to be able to get it across the line. And our governor had run on decriminalization of HIV, and it finally came to fruition. And I was in Plus, which added to the tools and skills that I had learned in SPJI 2.0. And it further broadened the relationships with those who were in the SPJI process. And there's a workbook that has all the different tools and kits and everything that you would need to do your advocacy work. And each SPJI class gets to add to it if they see something that's missing or enhance something that's already there. So it's really hands-on, and it's a good community, a wonderful community.
Thank you, Melanie.
All right. Good evening, fellow SPJI family and Sero Project family. Can y'all hear me? Yes. My name is Lawrence Wilson. I am from Detroit, Michigan. I am a graduate of SPJI 3.0. I would like to say, I thought we weren't supposed to tell y'all SPJI until you were alumni, but it's okay. We unspilled the tea now. So, but I remember when I joined Sero Project Justice Institute back in 2022 or 2023? 2023, and we graduated in 2024, I believe. Yes. So I have now a podcast on YouTube. I have a media channel called Details at 11 Media, which is right here in my background. And this was all because of Sero Project in detail. I mean, Sero Project at SPJI, because that's where this work started from. So that's the power of SPJI. That's the power of SPJI. The work that I started with SPJI is still continuing now in Detroit, where I do pop-up shops and share information about HINAC, about recovery, about just all the different intersectionalities of what it means for us to get HIV decriminalized in Detroit and beyond. So SPJI is a great foundation. I remember learning about the astronaut, oh my gosh. The astronaut, what's the word before the astronaut? What is it called? Somebody
OG.
help. Huh?
SOG.
So I was gonna say Soji, yes, the Soji astronaut. So that was my first time seeing it, and it was in SPJI. So you learn a lot, and I think it's a great program, especially for people like me who like to elevate your education and your advocacy in your community. And I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I wish you all the best.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you, Cody. Thank you, Dr. Alicia. I really appreciate that. Made things a little bit easier for us. All right, so the objectives, once again, participants will gain advocacy skills, as you heard already, but I want to get right into the expectations. Once again, this really is about coalition work, and what's going to be important is that you have reliable technology such as a laptop, cell phone, internet. There is a level of expectation that you will attend 80% of all of our SPJI Zoom meetings. We have assignments that will be done online and in groups as well. They're going to be pre and post assessments that you're going to have. And so you have to really consider these things. There are 2 meetings per month, just 2, not that many, just 2 on second and fourth Tuesdays. It's 90 minutes. We're going to be having like an introductory webinar and some coursework that you're going to be doing. And these meetings will also include a report back. And so that's why it's important that you attend. And you're going to have group work as well. And so you're going to be working in groups. So they're group activities. And so if you are chosen to and selected to be a part of SPJI, you're going to have group members who are going to want you to be a part of what they're doing. And so that's going to be important. So here you have the times again, so you can consider. Zoom meetings will be held at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the other time zones are also listed there as well. Another great thing is, because this is the year, and we're excited about it. And many of you who have attended, HIV is not a crime. If you've ever been to the national training, you already know it's a great time. If you haven't been, that's not going to stop you, of course, from participating in SPJI, but it is one of the things and expectations and requirements. We expect that those who are selected will attend HIV is Not a Crime 7, which we are getting ready for. Once again, we're excited about it. It's always a great time. All right, if we can get everybody to mute. And so if you're selected, the expectation is that you will not only just attend, and so you'll have to have time allotted on your calendar for that, but you'll also help with volunteering as well for that. There are some benefits, of course, to being selected, once again, for SPJI 5.0. There is a $200 stipend that the participants will receive, and that's to cover the cost of your internet as well as your cell phone. And so that's important to note. It's also important to note that you will be responsible for reporting that on the W-9. You have to fill out the W-9, and then you'll report that to the IRS, because you will receive the 1099 income statement. And one of the things that I'm really excited about, and you've actually heard from some of them tonight, is that we have technical assistants. We have some leaders who are doing the work, boots on the ground, and they have participated in SPJI and or SPJI Plus. And so they come with a wealth of knowledge, skills, and abilities. And so they're going to be here to help you. There major projects and assignments, I mean, from day one and throughout. And so having that extra support going through that, that's what's going to make this really beneficial to you, because these are individuals who have done some of the activities that you're going to be assigned as a participant. Other benefits is understanding things like MIPA, which you know is coming from the 1983 Denver Principles. If you're not familiar with that, you will be familiar with that. I promise you, by the time you complete SPJI 5.0. Also, other things that you can look forward to is that you're going to receive a certificate at the end of graduation. There's also another value add that you'll be able to contribute to, and that's the SPJI HIV criminalization reform toolkit. In fact, you can see that right now on Sero's website. You can see it's just a wealth of information. And so we have a specific task for SPJI 5.0, and you're going to be adding to that toolkit. And that's a great experience. I know the work that the group that I was in, we put a lot of work into the toolkit, and so you'll be adding to that toolkit. It's a resource to the community, those who are doing advocacy, those who are putting in the work, boots on the ground, and so you will have your name ever enshrined into the toolkit. So we're excited about that, and so you'll be able to participate in that. Once again, the end of the project, there are major assignments that we're going to have right out the gate. So I want to be honest with you about that. And that's why it's important to attend every session. And you're going to be able to learn a lot. There's a lot of learning that's going to be going on, and things that you'll be able to share with other people as well. It's not just a toolkit, but it's also some opportunities to teach back what you've learned. So we're going to be looking, and that's a part of the evaluation as well, that you can take one of the various topics that we're going to discuss and also teach back and share that information. You also get an opportunity to discuss, policy briefing. But one of the things I'm excited about that, SPJI Plus had a chance to do is really look at statewide coalition strategic planning. And so these are some of the things that you will be able to teach back. And you're not going to be doing it by yourself, but you're going to be in a group. And once again, that's why it's important that if you are selected to participate, that you show up because your group is going to need you. All right, so let's get into the application really quick, because as soon as we end this, we're going to go ahead and make that live, and you can start working on your application. But this is where you shine. Before I get into this part, once again, I want to say this is a very competitive process. It's a very competitive process, and it is a blind application review process. I want to say that. So even though you may know our faces and even know our names, we're not going to be able to know who you are. And so this is where you shine. So the information that you put on there, this is your opportunity to show why you should be selected. None of us who are going to be reviewing, in fact, I might get booted from reviewing, but none of us or any of us who will be reviewing will know who you are based upon, the name that you put on there. It's going to be a blind process. And I just wanted to stress that and be honest. So if you know somebody on here now, don't call them up and try to get in and butt them up, because they can't help you. They won't be able to help you. So in the application, there are 5 sections to it. It's not that difficult, but you must shine. All right, so there's going to be an introduction. You'll see the instructions. Once again, you'll see the list of expectations, the benefits, and basic questions that we're going to go through. Once again, we'll stress the idea of the technology, making sure that you have the right technology, computer, laptop, cell phone. These are the things that we're going to be utilizing throughout SPJI 5.0. And then once again, you'll hear it again, is the time commitment. It's a competitive process. Yes. It's a rigorous but rewarding process. Yes. However, we want to ensure that we have 100% completion. If you know that you can't commit to the time to SPJI Plus based upon what you've learned this evening, please don't take that spot from someone else. All right, and then there's basic demographic information. So the application is pretty straightforward. Once again, it's a place where you can shine. There are some sections in there where we ask that you don't go over a certain number of words. And so there are some questions where we ask that you only provide bullet points. And so we ask that you read the instructions really clear and you provide only the information that's requested. That's really important because that's how we're going to be able to select the right person. So please take your time with the application. And once again, please consider whether you can make that 12-month commitment. And of course, that 2-month meeting commitment as well. All right, just an idea how it's going to work. Orientation webinar, we're starting in September. First module is going to be October. And actually, everything's going to be in October. And then we'll get right into those modules. What I want to point out, what you see on the right is each month's module will total 3 hours of interactive time unless otherwise noted. We are aware that there's going to be some holidays in between. And so we're going to make those adjustments for holidays. And so you won't, if you are selected, don't worry, you won't have to do anything on Christmas. All right. So just please be attentive to emails. That's what we ask if you should get selected to participate. All right, and at the closing of every SPJI, it's a great time. We're going to have a graduation. It's going to be great. Of course, you'll be able to add value to our SPJI toolkit. You'll be able to do some teach backs. You're going to get a certificate. Of course, we already talked about that benefit of the stipend that you'll receive, that $200 stipend. But then there's opportunities to maybe be a future faculty for SPJI, because we've done, obviously, this is the 5th one, and just about everyone who is participating in SPJI 5.0, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, 100% of us have been a part of SPJI. Yes, we have been. And so this is great news, and it also shows growth of the organization. So Sero is growing as well. And we want you to be a part of it and grow with us. All right. So, of course, this is sponsored. These are our sponsors: Gilead, Health Not Prisons Collective, and, of course, Sero Project. All right. If you have any questions about the Institute, anything, there's an email here. It's SPJI facilitator at seroproject.com. So if you run into any troubles with the application or you have any challenges, please utilize that particular email and someone will get back with you as soon as possible to help troubleshoot whatever the challenge might be. All right. So once again, after this, and it's going to be very shortly here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get the recording done and the application will be done. And so if you've registered, of course, for this, you just look out for your emails once we put that together, and then you'll have the application as well as the slide deck and a copy of this recording for your reference. Once again, I want to reiterate, you probably heard me say it 1,000 times, but I want to say you really want to think about if this is the right program for you, because we do not want to take a slot from someone who is well deserving. It's a very competitive process and there's a time commitment. So once again, here are the expectations. It's going to be 2 meetings per month, second and fourth Tuesdays of the month, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so if this is something that you feel that you are ready and you can commit to, we definitely want you to apply. All right. At this time, of course, we've asked those who have put any questions into the chat. So if you have any questions, or even if you thought of some right now, we're going to give you an opportunity to go ahead and put those in the chat and we'll facilitate that as well. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I don't know if we have any questions in the chat, but Kevin, if you can check the chat, and if you, yes, and
no questions so far, my friend.
all right.
Aubriana would like to know, can we send the application to my email? Darrin, you just said that you will send the slides, the recording, and also the link to the application out shortly after we're done, correct?
Correct. If you have registered for this, we will definitely have that sent to you to the email that you registered with.
Okay. I'm so sorry, Cleo. I captured your email, and we'll make sure you get all the materials.
All right. Any more questions? All right. If there aren't any more questions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pivot back to the Sero leadership team to see if they want to have any final remarks. And thank you guys very much for participating this evening. I'm looking forward to seeing all of your great applications. And please don't forget to shine. All right. At this time, I'm going to pivot over to the leadership.
Thank you, Darrin. Oops. Sorry. Kevin's audio. Thank you for leading this webinar today, and thank you to our TAs, Cody, Dr. Alicia, Lawrence, and Melanie. Thank you for being on and for also being willing to help lead SPJI. As Darrin said, we like it when people go through a program and then help lead the program afterwards. That's part of what we are trying to build at Sero Project. So appreciate you all. Thank you all for joining us tonight. And like Darrin said, he will be sending out all the information to everyone who registered. We'll also be sending it via Sero's Google group. So, and then Eric will be sharing it through MailChimp. We'll also be promoting it on social media. So look for all of those places, and you can always email at the SPJI facilitator at seroproject.com if you have any questions. But thank you all.
All right. Thank you and good evening. And let's do it. We're looking forward to seeing your applications. TAs, if you can stand by if you're still there. I guess we can stop the recording as well.